Alright, so I want to do a review on the pneumatic single head false mix machine. It is quite bulky. Came in two separate shipments, unbelievably light. I only had one problem when it came in. It was a tiny hole in one of the air hoses. So instead of going through the problem of shipping it back, I just took some plumber's tape and wrapped it up, and it works just fine. It wasn't worth the hassle of boxing it up and sending it back. So we'll go ahead and get to the review. It's roughly about 3 foot long. It's got a 7-gallon hopper with it. The instructions on it was mouthful, but in Chinese, because there were very generic directions. I didn't even think to save them. I got so pissed off by it, I just threw it away. I actually got most of my information from YouTube. It took me a little bit, but it worked out, and got all the kinks aired out. So hopefully this video will help somebody understand what's going on. And I'm sure I'll learn a lot more as I go along. But this one actually requires an air compressor, which I got a 3-gallon hyper tough air compressor, complete with came with a stone hose and a little bit of accessories with it. But in order for it to work, it has to have an air supply. Okay, so that was the air compressor that I bought, the hyper tough, the 3-gallon. Bought it at Walmart. Everything that comes with it right there, and it is plugged up. Let me start out by saying that the attachment that comes on it is not the attachment you're going to need for this machine. I had to buy an accessory kit from Walmart in order for the machine to work right. This right here is the accessory kit. It's a 16-piece. Came with a bunch of attachments and stuff like that, but it worked. The attachment that you're going to need for the hose part to the machine is this one right here. Mine had a green, red, and yellow. I don't know if you can see that or not. Green, red, and yellow lines on it. It was definitely easy to put on. I did have to have a buddy of mine to come over and show me how this thing works, because I don't know a damn thing about air compressors, let alone a sauce machine, because I actually finally convinced my wife to put her barbecue sauce on the market. Okay. So after you get your compressor plugged up, you'll have to work with the pressure on the air compressor and make it match the air intake right here. Of course, see if I can get a close view of that. I don't know if you can see that. Get it in view. It's not going to come in. But there's a red line and a blue line that go around. I keep my needle on the 0.2. Now, the one thing that I did find rather interesting and aggravating all at the same time was how to set the air pressure, because your air pressure, it has to match what's coming out of the air compressor. Because I didn't think to mess with the camera during the whole setup process, because I thought, I was like, man, it's probably going to have a lot of pressure to it, pushing a pneumatic. And it came out like a rocket sled. It was really hard. It was like a geyser. But the more important one was on the machine. In order to set the air pressure, this right here, you have to set your air pressure, and so in order to do that, I figured out that you have to pull up on it. If I can do it with holding this, but you're supposed to pull it up and then turn it one way or the other for less pressure, more pressure, and then push it down to lock it into place. Now this right here, this little collar, believe it or not, according to the videos that I've watched, that collar apparently serves no purpose. I haven't found a use for it, so if you guys find a use for it, let me know. This one right here apparently is for the water, because you don't want water in the air supply. So if any water in the air tank gets trapped, it's going to come down in here. Okay. Well, the setup on the machine itself was pretty basic. There were a lot of things that I had to assemble. Now, this hopper right here, this actually came in a separate delivery. You can tell it's quite large in comparison to my arm. And of course the top of it, as you can tell, from my finger to my elbow, so it's quite large. It's a 7-gallon hopper. So the power button is right there. Okay. Now, once you get the power on, you're gonna hear should hear the machine kick on, and this little dial right here, if you turn it one way or the other, it will move this right here one way or the other. Now I've already got mine set to operate a 12-ounce bottle, because that's what we're running. It does have the capacity to do as small as, I think, a 2-ounce bottle. Has the ability to do, I think it's 1,000 milliliters is the largest capacity that it will do at one time. But I was really shocked at the quality of it. But then again, for about I think it was $800. It's a pretty impressive setup. Everything will come with it. This right here is actually your pneumatic part that is going to push the piston, which is this thing, and push it all the way down to the hopper. And this right here is going to be where it actually generates the amount of sauce that's going to come out of this, and will shoot down. Yeah, works pretty good. Like I said, the setup was relatively simple, but this little doohickey right here, the clamp, they're unbelievably easy to put on. And if you twist this right here, twist it, I think it's counterclockwise to loosen it, clockwise to tighten it, and same thing with this one, which is attaches the hopper to the bottom chamber, and then this right here attaches your chamber to your nozzle. Okay, now you're gonna think, if you happen to order one of these, I don't know if you can see it or not, but right here and right here, it looks like it's missing 2 screws, but I called the company and they said that that's the way that it's made, and I haven't had any problems with it. If by chance your lines become disconnected, you can always reattach them, and they're really easy. And remember, the orange from my machine, here again, single head, semi-automatic. Orange one is the top one, and the blue one was the bottom. I don't quite know what the difference is, but I just know that the directions mention to hook the orange one to the top and the blue one to the bottom. So I'm going to try to show you how to, this little blue piece right here, if you push it in, you can pull the line out. Ooh, see if I can do this with one hand. Oh, well. That's what I have to do with one hand. But the this right here, you push it in. Like I take my 2 fingers and put it on each side and push it inwards, and this right here will release. And then to put it back in, you simply push it in until you hear a click. Okay. I think one of the more challenging parts was trying to set the correct amount of pressure going into how much pressure to put into the bottle, because you don't want too much, because it will shoot the bottle right out your hand if you put too much pressure. And there is a pressure for the pneumatic to come back, how fast, whether it go really slow or really fast. And then there is a pressure to go forward slow or forward fast. Okay, so this one right here will control how slow or fast it comes back, and this one will control how fast it actually comes forward. And like I said, I've already got mine set. There's where the that's where I had that pipe tape to had a little pinhole leak. Like I said, it wasn't worth the efforts to box it and send it back. When throw some thread tape on it and it's good to go. I think one of the major things that I had problems with was, well, there's 2 actually. One was figuring out how to get this thing off to actually clean it, and then to get this part right here, how to get that off. So in order to get this right here off, I actually had to take this and this, and then this and this off. It's an Allen wrench. And then I had my daughter to help me, and we had to end up taking a wrench to this right here, and a wrench to that right there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you had to have 2 separate open box wrenches and hold them both steady in order to release the shaft. So we're going to release this from this. This is a apparently a locking nut that keeps it steady. Well, when we finally got everything off, we ended up taking this part right here and turning it after we got this nut released, taking it and turning it, and it just screwed off. Now the directions say that, you know, some mild soap and hot water. It did about, I would say, 98% job cleaning it. You know, it did pretty good, but I happen to be a perfectionist, so I wanted it like super clean. You know, because you are selling, we're selling food. You know, so you want it super clean and sanitized. The other one was this one right here. There's 2 screws right below this one, and that is actually underneath this right here. There's 2 Allen screws under here, so if you go up underneath it, and the machine itself is actually hollow underneath. As you can see, there is nothing. It's very hollow, but be really careful because this right here, this is I believe it's sheet metal, and although I haven't cut myself on it yet, be careful because sheet metal it'll rip you. But if you can see, it or not, but let's see here. Up under here is actually where the screws are located. Let's see if I can get a light to show you. Okay. Okay. I can't really see it very well, but you get the idea. So it's all hollow, and like I said, you find out where, you know, get an idea of where this block right here is located. This one right here, just underneath. See if I can get light on it. That block right there. Okay, I'm gonna get my finger on it right there. Yeah, right there. That lock is what you want to unscrew in order for that to come off. One of the major things that stood in our way and took us a little bit to get used to taking everything off, this right here, Allen wrench, that has to come off. And then there's actually a washer behind this, and then there is a washer in front of it. So make sure you get washer on each side of it. What I did, as you can see, I put a magic marker Sharpie lines, because you don't want to mess up the timing, okay? And you don't want to take this thing completely apart from this, because that has everything to do with your timing on when the sauce comes out and when it doesn't come out. So I actually went around and put marks that went from here to here. See if I can see that or not. Yeah. I don't think you can see it in the video, but you get the idea. Took a magic marker and just drew a line from here to here, so that I knew where this lined up at. And I lined up another marker on the shaft from here to here, so that when I put it back together, the timing on it is the same thing that it was before I started. It does have an emergency off switch there. Simply push in or pull out depending on whether you want to stop or go.